This week shows a market that is looking to hit its winter hibernation period early. I'm Tony with Clarkson Santoro, and this is our real estate update for the week of Friday, September 13th. We know that selling or buying a home can be very stressful and confusing. That's why we do these weekly videos, so you can know how the market is impacting your options as a homeowner or someone who is looking to buy a home. And as always, we start off by looking at how the market performed this week. There are now 46 homes on the market, which is up from the 42 we had last week. The average asking price is around the same, $1,998,000, whereas last week is $2,083,000. Only 3 homes went pending this week, down from the 6 last week, but the average asking price of those pending homes is up significantly to $2.66, up from the $1.829 from last week. And 9 homes sold this week, which is 1 less than the 10 last week, with an average closing price of $1,590,000, down from the average closing price last week of $1,813,000. So now we know how the market performed this week, and next we always like to look at how the indicators that help us know where the market might be heading. Before we do that, if you do find this information helpful, why don't you hit the subscribe button down below and share it with a friend. That way they can know how the market is affecting their options. Everyone deserves to be in the know about that. Okay, let's look at those broader trends and indicators. Starting with inventory, it moved back up a little this week by about 10%. A little up and down fluctuation from week to week is not unexpected, and the small increase in inventory will likely not affect the market for sellers or buyers immediately. You can see the line is never very straight throughout the entire year. Anyway, inventory had been trending down, so this could be just a slight pause in the trend or a start of a new upward trend. The thing that makes it seem like the start of a new trend potentially is the fact that only 3 homes went pending this week, less than half of the weekly average for pending homes this year. The turnover rate number continues to drop this week, which is to be expected with the low number of new pending sales. The turnover rate dropped from 0.6% to 0.4% based on the 30-day rolling average. That means that the average house in San Ramon is now taking about 2.5 months to go pending. This is the slowest turnover rate that the turnover rate has been since early January 2023, which is a typical slow time of year. This slow turnover rate is less normal for late summer and something we will be paying close attention to. The slower market movement is finally starting to affect the over-under numbers as well. The average home is now closing for just only 0.5% over the asking price, where they have been averaging 1.5% to 2% over asking for several months now. It is quite possible that we will be seeing the average drop into the under range in the next coming weeks. The average sales price continues to drop as well, although the few homes that went pending this week might push that number back up when they close. The average asking price for this week's 3 pending sales is up well over $2.5 million. That being said, the average price, closing price did fall to $1,773,000 this week, which is the lowest it has been since the beginning of this year. Homes in the lower price range, beginning of this year, back there. Homes in the lower price range continue to sell, which is what is driving this lower average sales price. The Triple Q Fund had a good week this week after 2 noticeably bad weeks. It bounced back about 2.5% after a 2-week drop-off. A strong tech stock portfolio will always help the large segment of buyers that are looking in our area, as many of them use their stock portfolio to make the sizable down payment necessary to get financing for homes in our area. And finally, interest rates. The interest rates also provide more good news for us this week. They dropped 15 basis points and are now at 6.2%. This reduction in average loan costs are in anticipation of the Federal Reserve reducing the discount rate soon. So when the Fed does actually announce anything, it's unlikely to make the rate fall by much more, but it could finally nudge the rates back under that 6% mark, which we haven't been for well over 2.5 years now. So overall, my takeaways for this week are we're about a 1 month to a month and a half from what is usually the slowest time of the year. So seeing the drastic fall in the turnover rate start this early is a little bit concerning. It could be pointing to a long winter for people considering to sell, especially those in the higher price range above 1.8 million. The good news is that the market in the lower half of the price range continues to perform well, and with interest rates dropping, we might see a little more movement in the market now, especially if sellers are adjusting their price expectations and becoming more aggressive in their pricing strategy. All in all, I think it has become more important than it has been for quite some time to be very mindful who you're working with, and as a seller, making sure you're doing all you can to make your house appear to as many buyers, appealing to as many buyers as possible, since those buyers are starting to be more picky and deliberate on what homes they want to purchase. Thank you for joining me for this weekly update. I hope it helps you understand how our market is impacting your options. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell so that you can stay informed on how this market is continuing to shape up as we move into the fall season. And if you have any questions about how you can navigate the stressful, confusing process of selling or buying a home, especially in this market, please leave a comment down below or reach out to us directly. We're here to help guide you every step of the way. Have a safe week or safe weekend. I'll see you next week with a new update.